Okay, everybody, welcome to the stream. Glad to see we got some people tuned in. I am just about to get the video up and going. Just a couple more little tweaks. Okay, and hello and welcome. Today I'm joined on audio by Luke and Russ. If you want to say hello.
I'm Luke Burgess-Yeo. Back once again. I was here on Tuesday. So I guess I'll give my introduction again. I'm based in London, been playing Ultimate since like 2012. And I'm currently the mixed captain and coach of Curve Ultimate, just a local team here in London.
Cool. My name is Russ Allen. A lot of people know me online as Slow Crush or Beast Plains, and I coach a new men's team in Louisville, Kentucky in the U.S. called Colonels.
All right, brilliant. My plan is to get through the entire game. We've got like one hour of footage, but we'll cut out all the bits in between the points. So hopefully we'll be able to get through it in an hour and a half and finish the stream at like 7:30 UK time, which is probably like 2:30 Eastern US. Let us know in the chat if you're watching, if you're enjoying it, if you've got anything you want to hear more about, anything you want to see more of. Rue's just watching the sunset out the window at the moment. I'll get her on the stream later on, because I know that she is popular with the viewers. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Here's the lineup for Team Russia. Sasha Pustovaya, number 69, was the star 2 years ago. But this season, GG, it has been Olga.
We got Kim in the chat. Hero. Good to see you.
And assists, but this is not a team of one or two strong women. They go 15 deep.
Russ, have you played much beach, and have you got any thoughts on the difference between beach and grass?
I've played a beach tournament in Bibione, Italy with the Luxembourg national team when I was much worse at Frisbee, and so throwing was impossible. And then I played layout with a lot of really talented players from Atlanta. And the one thing I noticed is closing in space, people playing more closely with each other, resigning themselves to throwing fewer passes. I suspect we'll see more turnovers today than we would see on grass.
Interesting. I would have said maybe. I would have thought the opposite for beach. I think in terms of turnovers, possession is so valuable on beach because it's so difficult to get blocks. It's so hard to kind of overtake people or to make up ground, to sky people even, and everyone knows it, so everyone tries to keep possession as much as possible. I know they normally do as well, but on beach I think the turnovers kind of matter even more. It's so hard to kind of get the disc off an offense. I played in this tournament actually for the Great Britain Masters men's team. It's like super hot, and beach is just it's so hard to run in the sand for like 2 hours or an hour or whatever, and then it becomes like a war of attrition. You have to have this insane stamina just to keep going for the duration of a point.
Yeah, the wind's actually not terrible at all, is it?
No, it's not much. You can see some flags in the background. Did that just bounce off Inga? Oh, no, they tear it away.
What?
This sequence.
Oh, she tried to catch it. She tried to catch the D, and it just bounces out of her hand. Goes straight to the USA player, then hucks it. And it's too far.
Will be Inga Sulemova. Nice catch. Kept alive by Pachugina. Shooting it deep, testing Malinowski.
Yeah, that throw was way short.
Height up to the challenge.
Both teams playing a slightly different offensive style, though, with Russia with the vert stack and USA much more spread out.
United States, perhaps late on Friday night, early Saturday morning, out west, where Cree Howard.
Hello to Aesop Pranov in the chat, watching from Mother Russia.
Reads it and lays
Oh wow, nice catch. See the decision on this huck. Yeah, sends the defender under. Yeah, Inga just turns ahead, and that's enough. But then she then goes deep. Well timed, just as the thrower is looking up to throw, and then the throw's in really good space. Gets under it a little bit, meaning then she has to stretch for the catch.
Probably not the right move for Russia to test Malinowski deep. And a great grab by Rudin. It looked like...
Right, okay, fast forward to the next point. 1-0 USA. That's quite a nice shot. Yeah, the camera work and everything was exceptional at this tournament. I wasn't in the production crew, but I worked with the people that were. Mike from Multi TV, and yeah, he said the guys that he was working with were not frisbee players, but they were like professional camera people, and they were able to just follow like any instructions he gave. They were just immediately on it and just doing everything right, focusing the whole time. And the camera work and everything is the best when you don't even notice it. There's been a call on this player. Is it a pick? Let's just rewind it. Okay, so yeah, the defender's having to follow here. It's that classic situation again with the picks, in that if they switched, you know, this Russian player is aiming to run towards this area, which is where this defender is. This Russian player is aiming towards that area, which is where this defender is. So if the USA players at this moment here just stopped running and just switched, then there'd be no need for the pick. Looks like it's a retracted pick because didn't affect play.
Sasha Pustovaya, the younger sister.
Kim in the chat says that he can't get up to speed on beach with his stilts, aka his legs. Oh, nice catch. Yeah, some players are like suited to beach. Some players just like fly over the sand, and others tend to just like dig a hole when they try and run.
Before she married the coach.
You know, the Philippines national team's always renowned for being inhumanly fast on the sand.
Yeah, they're a different level. They're insane. Oh, that's very nice.
Then they play almost exclusively on beach.
Yeah, training on beach all the time. This is such a trusting throw. Look at, there's zero separation here, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'll just put this one out. It's perfect shape on the throw. Just putting out to the space. Good throwers are so useful on beach, because like touch is essential, because you can't just like power down throws. You know, like you can't run down throws that are slightly off, because yeah, you can't get up to the same speed. But you know, you can lay out, but that gives you like a little bit of room, like margin for error. But you can't get to the same speed, so therefore, if your throws are able to go slow as well, then that makes the chance of completion much higher. So like touch throws and throws which are the right shape are just so valuable on beach. See, I mean, this is not the kind of throw that you want, because because it's going faster than the receiver, but she's still able to to get it. It's an insane catch.
Breakthrow before that was also pretty insane.
What the one on this possession?
Yeah, this sort of first pass after the centering pass.
Same 5 in the offense.
Like the amount of
Malinowski chased by Parker.
It wasn't actually a breakthrough.
She did it again.
It's accurate.
It was open side. It was an accurate throw. Yeah.
Unstoppable.
I thought it was a break because the defender was so far away, but it's just a good cut.
Right. Nice catch.
A mirror image.
They got loads of cameras.
During the Masters final.
That's the same receiver that's caught both of them, right? In the same way.
Right now, coming from the far side of the field to the near, you can see
There's
the
like a flag
so.
flags blowing toward us. Pustovaya, of course, had the scary injury in the finals against Team USA 2 years ago in Dubai. Great to see her back on the field.
Yeah, so Russia lost to USA in Dubai a couple of years previous to this. There was interviews earlier where they said that they were out to seek revenge for that.
Of the size of Pustovaya and Dumanskaya on a turnover. But when the Russians have the disc, as you can see right there, just directing traffic, it's hard for the USA to match up.
It's a really nice lead pass. You can see that she like looks for it as well. Like as soon as she sees that defender closing up, she's like pointing, being like, "Look, you can definitely just go that side." This separation is punished by the fact that the throw goes inside out at the end. So again, it's just these the shapes of the throws, meaning that you can exploit the spaces.
When the Russians have the disc, as you can see right there, just
Really putting any defenders in that middle space, or at least Russia putting their receivers deep to open up the space for the handlers.
Pretty good goal
Oh
line.
no, miscommunication.
Podolskaya had nowhere to go. Sarah Miller defending the dump.
I think miscommunication on dumps and turnovers like that, those were the ones I was talking about would increase simply because, like you guys were talking about, you get stuck in the sand and next thing you know, the disc is up, but you really can't move.
Yeah, like accelerating. Like you go to push off and just the ground slips from underneath you.
You have to be way more committed to each of your movements in that handler space. You can't just dance around.
In fact, Russia entering the final has allowed fewer
I'm surprised there wasn't a pick there. So the cut kind of goes through. The cut starts from here and it goes through these players here. Look at that, they're just. I mean, I guess it's not a pick, but look how close that is.
That's a pick, yeah.
Bizarre. Yeah,
I don't think the defender actually like slows down or anything. Oh no, she takes like one step was slightly smaller.
Yeah, it looks like she hesitates a little bit, but it's almost like
it's barely affected.
The perfect.
That's crazy though.
Intersplice.
That throw is really nice too.
There's a round break. Dumanskaya, I think, threw it. She's got really long limbs, and so that a round break is deadly. Yeah, and it just flows down into the space. Really nice. Okay.
It's so much harder to mark on beach because you can't just jump from marking the IO to marking the around as quickly.
That disc lands in bounds, and Howard has to play it.
or threatening the eye or threatening the around at the same speed almost.
Rugen saves the day. That
Ooh,
throw
slip.
kept
She gets
alive
with the
by
layout.
Soper. The former college champion in the United States with Ohio State. Forces
Another lay.
This is a really scary start to a possession.
now Rugen. Downfield, you've got Parshakova chasing Malinowski.
So-
It's almost looked like the USA sort of rattled by it.
Hmm.
The American offense usually has not had to work this hard. The throws have been pinpoint.
Nice. Let's just have a quick look. I think it's like timing. So the disc goes here with like a high release kind of inside out break. Let's have a look at this cut.
Pastors are really smart.
Yeah, just the starter step kind of takes one step as if going to go open side, recognizes the defender, takes a step there, just goes for the inside out channel, catches, and then turns to the end zone and just immediately turning around. I mean, this Russian defender here is face marking a bit. I think as soon as that throw goes there, this Russian defender should be aware of that somehow, because it's got to be like, you know, in 100% focus mode. Really difficult situation to be in, pretty much impossible. But it looks like she's kind of caught by surprise.
The previous throw to eye space.
The round break. Yeah, that kind of opens the field up, doesn't it? Yeah, and then because she's got that separation, she fakes the around as his player's coming across, and by faking it at that time, and also to a realistic option, which I think the force already looked at. Yeah, so the force goes over, checks out, oh, there's a threat on the around, and the fake comes just at the right time to get that force committing over to the around, which just opens up that huge inside out channel. And then this player here can see that all happening, sees the inside out channel open, and then that's when she cuts for it there. So loads of really good stuff happening that, you know, you normally wouldn't notice just on the first watch. But like that's, yeah. Oh yeah, and just the awesome catches as well. I think she slipped earlier on in her cut, and that's why then she had to like make up that ground.
His ultimate program gives a lot of credit to. Did that hit the foot?
How many people in the chat are from Russia, and how many are from USA?
Hitting the foot of Domanska. The sidelines
Type
trying to stop
type
it.
R if you're from Russia, and give us a U if you're from USA. Let's see who we got watching. Okay, I think there's a pick downfield that we can't see here. Alright, we've got Kevin from the USA. And we know already that we've got Asopranov from Russia. Oh, are they doing... Oh, wait, are they calling a turnover on the pull? I can't really tell. Actually, that probably did hit her foot, right? Because it bounces in that way. You can't really tell from that angle, but see if you can see from the way the disc bounces here. Yeah, it does look like it hits her foot, right? Yeah, see the sideline saying it there.
Very close to hitting the foot of Domanska. The sideline's trying to stop it for the Americans.
We've got Russ. Wait, is that you, Russ? From USA, Benjamin from USA. Kostya and Julia from Russia. Hello, Kostya. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you in the stream, anyways. Hi, Inga. So we got Inga watching. Inga's playing in this game.
Wow.
Main handler, I think, one of the main handlers. Definitely heavily involved later on.
That is so unfortunate.
So that looks like it probably should be a turnover, right?
I'd say so, yeah.
USA coach Mike Whitaker.
Yeah, okay, it's given.
On a windy day, the Canadian handler tried to dodge the disc, and it hit her ankle as it landed. Allison Maddox.
God damn, she like gunned it into the end zone. It's so fast. I do not have the reflexes to catch that. Like, it's just like a few frames. Just getting past Sky's hand as well. That's an awkward catch. That's really good reactions to catch that.
Allison Maddox into the end zone for Sarah Ancio.
Kim, I don't know if anyone on the field called that turnover. It's possible that the deeper players were calling it, but it did look like the sideline were getting involved. That said, you know, if it did hit the foot, then really the criticism should be towards the player who didn't call it on themselves. You know, if you know that the rules have been violated, it doesn't matter whether it's in your favour or not. You should make that call. I've done it before, laying out, catching the disc, and then as I'm sliding, it was indoors. My hand kind of gets released from the disc, and then I'm really realizing I'm just holding it on the ground. And then as I stand up, I pick it up, and I'm like, and everyone's playing on, and I'm like, no, I didn't catch that. I dropped it on landing, actually. But that shouldn't be exemplary spirit. That should be like normal spirit. You know, we're all referees. So you can see the wind up at the top there. Got Estonia. I love flag recognition. Can anyone recognize all these flags? Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, UK. What's that one?
I like the questions from, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Kerschel in the chat about whether or not sideline can get involved in making calls like that.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think about an example from my life where I laid out and I hit my head while I was catching. And so when I opened my eyes, I had both arms outstretched with the disc lying stamp up on my forearms, and I was being stall counted. So I stood up as fast as I could and kept playing. And then both sidelines were shouting at me, down, down, down. And I had to calm myself down but the sideline like clearly saw, whereas the people on the field, we didn't really know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly what the rule is. I don't think that sideline can actively get involved technically by the rules, but I'm always of the mind that, you know, what should happen on the field should be, you know, what goes with the rules, right? However you get to that conclusion, you know, whether it's referring to video footage, whether it's the sideline kind of pointing stuff out. But, you know, when it's stuff like fouls, you know, when it's less of like a clear physical thing, you know, did the disc hit the foot before it hit the stand, or was the foot on the line or inbounds? You know, when it's a clear physical thing, that's really good to get sideline's opinion. But when it's like a foul, you know, like or a strip or something like that, then, you know, I don't think the sideline's really got a good perspective on that. In WFDF, can sideline give best perspective? Kevin asks. Luke, you're a commentator. You should have perfect rules knowledge, right? What's the situation with sideline involvement? Hello, Luke? Or is your Wi-Fi gone? Oh, I think Luke's Wi-Fi's gone. That's what he said in the chat. Inga says, at least they can advise to make a call to any of the team. It was too hot on the field and the temperature was crazy, so the players were a little bit mind-blowing emoji. And it's been pointed out that Julia is playing in this game as well, of course. So, honoured to have some players in the chat that are in this game. They just changed it in USAU, and sideline can provide input now. They changed something else with the video footage. So that if you watch a video, you're only allowed to get involved if it is to the detriment of your team. And I think that's really, really silly. Just out of bounds. I think that's really silly. That means you can like watch the video and know what happened, and your teammate can ask you even your opinion. And if it's to your team's favour, then you're not allowed to say anything. And I think that's just a mistake in adjusting the rules. You know, it's like an overreaction to some problem they've had. Because there's got to be like trust. There's got to be trust of players at the end of the day.
Looking long, Sarah Miller has it.
It's a nice throw.
Yeah, I definitely take issue with rules or the enforcement of the rules when we must assume positive intent, of course, but then you see these things baked into the rules that kind of suggest we know people aren't really going to trust each other, and like here's how you mitigate cheating, for lack of a better term, and I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I agree there are kind of aspects of that, because like most of the rules are, you know, it's assumed that players won't cheat, and so therefore there's not going to be punishment for violations of the rules. However, like just the recent thing with the video thing seems to kind of go against that, you know. Okay, so Russia have got a 3-point lead now. Alright, a weird pick and throwaway type thing here. Just comes back, runs into the defender, and this gets thrown anyway and kind of hits the floor. So I wonder what they're going to decide. This goes back. We're getting a bit of feedback.
The screen makes them look so much smaller. But like I'm 5'5", so I'm about average height, and her height is just towering.
She uses it well. She knows how to.
All right, am I back?
Hello. Yes. Yes, you're back. I hear you.
Yeah, wonderful.
There was a rules question about in WFDF.
Well, I was streaming on my phone.
Oh yeah.
For a few minutes. Close it down. Yeah, I believe you're allowed to use like video and camera footage if it is definitive. So, you know, if you get a really good picture from a photographer where like someone's foot is clearly in bounds while they clearly have control of the disc, then that's fine. But in a lot of cases, on video and on camera, it's really inconclusive, the footage or the picture. So
yeah, but that's not the rules, is it? Like whether it's conclusive or not, you know, how clear it is doesn't come into the rules at all. It's just, I think it says you're allowed to refer to technology and use technology to assist with calls unless it significantly delays the game or
yeah,
adds unreasonable delay to the game.
Yeah, when you have these like really sketchy shots, and then players are arguing about whether or not it's in or out based on that. Whether it was in or out based on what they saw, because actually the external input from the footage or the picture is just not helpful.
Yeah. But you know, sometimes it is, and the question was because the question was about then whether well, I mean, not the question in the chat today, but the question that's kind of generally come up more is when it's the sideline players that are going to watch the video, right? Because they're on the sideline where the video screen is, unless you have like a big screen, which is very rare. Julia says that they practiced the layout Ds. You saw that amazing layout D just then. They practiced them in the training last year. Yeah, so those players on the sideline, when they see the footage, then are they allowed to then let the players on the field know what they've seen? You know, and it wasn't really much of a question because Everyone was just being honest, you know, and it wasn't like, you know, oh, you know, they're not allowed to say. Are they allowed to say? Let's have a look at the rules. It was like, oh, they looked at the video footage. We want to know what they said. Like, we want to know what they saw. So it wasn't really like an issue. And then WFDF have kind of stepped in and be like, oh no, you're not allowed to say this, and if it's to the benefit of your team. And it's just like, what? Nobody was having a problem with that. And now WFDF have suddenly changed the rule. And personally, I've been in a situation where I've seen many like calls on the field which were either going to go the wrong way or they were going to get sent back, and they've been resolved perfectly amicably and quickly by looking at the replay on the sideline. So it can be really, really good. It can be really, really useful for the players. So I hope WFDF reconsiders that rule change. Okay, vert stack and a set play. It's like Alicia cuts break side and then goes straight deep.
Her great speed outrunning Sadler in the sand. Back to Pustovaya.
Oh, so that's a kind of throw that you don't want, is the fast ones. Let's just have a look at this set of play. So just goes break side, doesn't really even look for that pass, heads deep, no approach possible. But yeah, this final pass, it's just too speedy. You know, like there's enough separation on sand to be a score each time. But it just has to be sat to the space rather than thrown fast.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about the transition from grass to sand, you know, she's throwing downwind here, and her release is this normal step out. Well, she tries to loft it, doesn't she? But yeah, sometimes on the beach, when you're throwing downwind, you really have to have a release point. Otherwise, that's what's going to happen.
Just a bit out of sync.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a bit fast, even though it was like a high release. It's also downwind as well, let's not forget that. Oh, okay, throw to the ground. Is that a foot block, or is it? Yeah, that looks like a foot block. Cool. We do have rosters. They're shown at the start. I can rewind and show them. It wouldn't take very long at all. I think I'll do that in a second after this point.
Hard to throw against the mark of Dina Domanskaya. And she'll launch
That's nice.
the end zone. Some handler movement leads to the Russian
Oh, okay, yeah. You can rewind the video and look at the beginning. To see the rosters. Joe Marmstein just did that in the chat. Julia says that they practice the layout Ds by standing, two players stand 10 meters apart and throw the disc to each other, but slightly to the side. And behind each of them is a line of people who have to sprint and jump in at the correct time to get the layout D. I see, that's cool. Just like, it must be great to watch, just like layout D after layout D and trainings. But that's really good, just kind of getting your, you know, drilling. You know, you drill it in, like, right, this is the motion I need to do, this is the situation. And then when you then meet it in the game, you don't have to think about it, you just go through the motions. And it's a drill with a very high success rate as well, I imagine.
Well, I guess you can make it as hard as you want as well.
Yeah, because those players can start attacking the disc, I guess, to make it then a bit harder.
USA looking for its third turnover-free offensive hold. And
oh, another like pretty much first pass straight to the ground.
The quick counter.
Nice throw.
Anna Pustovaya.
I think that's...
Yeah, I like how Russia just picked the disc up and went with it.
Yeah, I think that's Inga. I think that's Inga in the chat. Nice throw, Inga.
Into the ground. The quick
End zone on beach should be like a goal every time.
Yeah. And it's definitely not a point block, is it? It's just a throw to the ground. It's almost like she's thinking too much about running after her throw. And that getting that momentum, maybe just, I don't know, it's just an error, isn't it? It could be anything that causes that.
Seeing a streaking Pustovaya to the end zone.
Yeah, Inga picks up. low release into the wind, so got the wind kind of helping have that disc sit a little bit longer.
Going crazy in the stands.
So it's the same angle. Okay, next point. 5-4 now. So yeah, it's like a comeback from Russia already, after being 3 points down. Cool choice for analysis, says Ryuma. Yeah, this is a great game. It's quite often like the women's final is the best final for beach, I found.
Grass as well in last few World Championships.
Which World Championships?
Well, it was under 23s in London.
Oh yeah, yeah. Japan,
Then-
USA, that's sick.
I think at World Ultimate Guts, the women's final was pretty good as well.
I'm loving this matchup.
The year
with
after.
Malinowski.
Antonin points out that the pass into the ground that we saw was made harder by the wind, or like pushed into the ground by the wind. Inga with the D.
It was downwind, but it wasn't very far.
True. So let's just see how Inga reacts to this cut here. So this is a break side cut. So Inga's got the positioning for open side. There's no fake, and it's just quick off the mark from the defense. Looks up just as the disc is about to be thrown. Disc is a bit short, and Inga's there to get the D. I mean, there wasn't any separation on that cut, so kind of a poor throwing choice, but so hard to. Oh, it's not Inga. If that's the. No, yeah. It's so hard to. So hard to stay that close on defense.
Sulimova initiates.
Oh, they just got the same hats on. That's why.
Will it float enough? It'll float too far.
So it looks like both teams are having a bit of trouble with these, with the downwind more than the upwind, and that I find that true with beach as well. Is that downwind is usually or is often harder, because you're so valuable to get the disc moving slowly through the air, which is easier to do when you're going into the wind. Does anyone know what this flag is yet? Oh, I think I might know. Oh no, is that a Guam? That looks like Guam's flag.
Which flag?
It's the blue one with the red border. There's like a little circle, and I think it's got like a picture of like a beach with like a palm tree. So, and it says Guam on it as well. I think, unless that's like the Kura Island flag or something. Anyway,
Yeah, it's Guam.
It is.
By an average of about 12 to 6.
Great flag.
But they had
On
a
beaches
10-9 game
is
against
the difficult
Denmark,
thing.
10-8 game against
Because you can throw as hard as you can anywhere else, but everyone's running slower. So like downwind, it's made even harder because throwing lead passes downwind is harder.
Yeah, exactly.
The touch anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like throwing into the wind at beach. Just get the disc sitting there. She makes up a lot of ground for this D. No, so offense doesn't really attack it. Offense almost peels off, but then defense is there to take
Situations where the receiver is like running out of ground because it's towards the sideline, but the defender doesn't care about the sideline, so just goes for it. You see this outdoors quite a lot as well, with big layout Ds on the sideline.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they can commit to going through it, whereas if the offense goes through it, they might not. Kim says that he doesn't think the Guam is a great flag because a flag shouldn't have a description on it, so he doesn't think he should have the name of the country on the flag as well. Throws just a little bit far. Yellow disc was a terrible choice for beach, someone says. Roma says.
Do you think the heat is getting to the players at this point? We're not even that far into the game, but
yeah, I mean, when there's been a couple of turnovers in a point, then it becomes a war of attrition. You know, like your stamina. Really comes down to stamina. Oh, look at this flag shot. Right, who can name all 3 of these? I can definitely name 2 out of the 3. Let's hear it in the chat.
Seattle Riot standouts on this team, along with Soper. 4 members of Boston.
I mean, it really the one that's hardest there is the green, white, black.
Also representatives from Nemesis, Dragon Thrust, Showdown, and Scandal.
Do you know all 3 of them, Luke?
And the Dragon Thrust representative becoming a member of Madison Heist this year.
It's the obvious ones.
Say what?
I know the 2 obvious ones.
Oh, even the 3rd one might not be obvious to some people. Anyone in the chat know what that first flag was?
45 meters from
I think it's not the full flag. That's what threw me.
Oh, is it not?
No, I think
Again,
it was.
making Sasha Pustavaya work to keep it alive.
Noah guesses Lebanon.
Podolskaya
Lebanon?
angled off by Ancio.
I am a stupid
That part of the world.
American. I can identify maybe 20 flags if I'm lucky.
We're not talking state flags.
Podolskaya in the end zone.
Well, you could at least identify a 3rd of the ones on that last screen.
Yeah.
The others are tricky.
I don't know what the flag of Lebanon looks like, so maybe it is that one. Noah, maybe you can check. Confirm whether you're right or not.
No, he's not.
He's wrong, is he? Okay. So Russ should flow it over to the break side here. Now, what's really good here is that the USA player lays out, like probably rightly so, to try and get that D. Like maybe could have taken off like a step earlier on the other foot. You want to be horizontal, like by the time the disc gets there. But then that means that the inside out channel is open. So I think this player maybe shouldn't be committing that hard as well, because there's limited space over here, and the thrower hasn't wound up to fake that throw down the line, and she's taking her eye off the mark. So then going to the inside out, because the force was on the floor, so then therefore there's a big channel here. I say there's a big channel, it almost goes through her own player. Kim thinks that the 3rd flag was Colombia. What do you think about that, Luke?
As well, it's Colombia.
The 3rd flag was not Colombia on that one, I don't think. I don't think so.
Yeah, I doubted myself. It was the first one. It's the green, white, and black that I didn't get.
Yeah, the green, white, and black one is difficult. I don't know that one. Oh, you
It
can't
could-
just
'cause-
Kim, you can't just retract your message because you're wrong.
Venezuela.
Yeah, Venezuela. Yeah, with the
I was right.
oh, okay. Your audio cut out when you said Venezuela. I just heard the Abuela. This one up here is Colombia, I think.
One of the key additions.
Oh, I've just figured out a clue as well.
This is the first of 3 gold medal games today. We'll see the USA men against Great Britain.
Yeah, there's a clue.
USA mixed against Canada.
The clue is that they've got to be in alphabetical order. Yeah, because you've got United States of America and Venezuela, and then if you look at the other ones, they're in alphabetical order.
Soper finds Fajardo.
So my guess would be Uganda.
Fajardo out there for the O point instead of Malinowski. Soper's going deep, and
Can someone in chat check whether
No,
Uganda?
it's not Uganda.
Ah, damn.
She was open.
Yeah, that's probably correct.
The Ugandan flag is
yeah.
Yes, UAE.
Sorry.
Yeah, so you can't see the full flag.
Everybody in the chat should look up the Ugandan flag right now, though, because it's awesome.
What is
Yeah.
it?
It's a lot of horizontal stripes, black, yellow, and red, and then some cool bird in the middle.
Ah, nice.
Pretty dope flag.
Yeah.
Flag has some red on the far left, which wasn't on the shot,
Ah, okay. Oh, like a
which
triangle.
is why it was
pointing,
tricky to get.
Of course, yeah. Same as what is it? Iraq and Egypt, I think, have got that red bit. Okay, so this throw, there's a lot of separation here. But again, it's just a bit too hard, and the outside in gets turned more outside in by the fact the wind is coming this way. So if there's enough space to get that inside out, I mean, it's tricky because it's between these players here. But yeah, just too much outside in, which means that it drops to the ground, and also it's a bit hard. But the separation was there, so it's good to throw to.
In front of the thrower, so it had to have some angle on it to get around and back in. So it's actually a lot harder throw than I think it looks.
Oh, here's where the thumbnail. There you go. That's the thumbnail for the stream.
It gets a bit too repetitive. Your opponent knows how to shut that same system down.
The last point,
Vert stack very far away. Bit of a low throw. A bit far out to the front. We won't replay that one to spare players in the chat. We do a load of fantastic things in this game, so focus on those things.
Rudin keeps her pivot foot and keeps her balance to find Cardenas.
There's a lot of contact on that force. You can see, like, as the pivoting's like happening, just kind of gets off balance, gets wrong footed, comes back around, there's contact there. Yeah, it's pretty heavy contact all around. Makes the
Like the third hit.
Yeah.
So much on trying to throw the goal.
It's a fun
So
matchup.
makes sense.
Anna Pustovaya, Khalees Cardenas.
Pustovaya. Pustovaya and Domanskaya. Right. Yeah, Julia helping out with the pronunciation.
Parshakova.
Oh, what a nightmare cut, just running around in a circle. Whee!
Ooh.
Kind of a smart cut though.
Yeah. I mean,
Should have switched to the force should have taken the upline cut.
yeah, the force I think ends up.
And as soon as the defender was behind, she should have gone onto the force. But like that's some next level switching.
Yeah.
We saw this scenario in another stream from a week ago or something, where we saw the defender poach the cone for a second, and then I think the handlers did a give go and ended up throwing to the open side. Is that correct? Do you all remember that?
The
Which
defenders
game?
poached and they did a give go to the open side.
It was women. I don't remember which though.
Revolution Brute Squad, probably.
Yeah, that was it. So instead of the defender following in this big looping cut, the defender crept over to the poach side, and the offense beat her also. But I think it was because she had like a delayed follow, whereas this defender is just following like on skis, like they say.
Yeah, but I mean, she's sticking pretty tight. Like, it's
Yeah.
good coverage. It's just an accurate throw, and because the force has come around the back as well. Like, I think maybe if that force looks over the shoulder and actually checks what the threat is, and gets in front of it, forces them to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Force ends up behind the thrower, which
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense.
Not in this exact situation, no. But then at the end of the day, like the throw is, 2 inches away from the D, so I don't think that the D has done really much wrong if they're having to make that throw, which is closely contested.
I think number 5 for USA, whoever that is, she's really smart here to also realize that the thrower and the reset are connected in this moment, and so she just needs to get out of the way rather than get involved in the play.
Right, yeah, okay, so the downfield were giving them space.
Right.
Noah says the Russian player is kind of on the inside line, therefore should have less space to cover. Yeah, like a racetrack, right? So they did a set play deep to Alicia here going deep. One of the recent offense they did, and they try and do it again. It's the same play, break side and then deep. The defender's a little bit closer, but the throw just pulls over to the right and isn't really catchable. I mean, it comes down there. It's possible that as soon as it's released, if she runs that angle, she'll be able to lay out for it. It's very unlikely that it's
come on.
physically possible. I know she's good, but yeah, that is asking a bit much.
Stick with her toe in bounds. What's the problem?
Maddox needs
Yeah.
something
Great
to
defense.
launch
Yeah, great
Nobody
defense.
home.
Everyone's marked out. That's cool. My favorite bit was this person here that comes under, just like completely shut out. So really good. It's that thing of like all you need is 10 seconds of defense.
It's kind of rare to see it.
Yeah, especially against USA women. So this is really good. You can see the commitment here at the exact right point. This cut goes up line, and Duman, how do I pronounce it? Dumanskaya is shadowing on the dump space, so forcing that up line. And she's like, when she lays out, she's got so far reach. This player here is maybe getting a bit disinterested, so she gets marked out there, but then she like clears out. Then she turns and comes back, but the defender's wise to it. Yeah, so again, really good defense. Then as soon as that plant comes in, for then the defender to plant as well immediately. And it can be so hard to keep that energy in beach every time your player changes direction, for you to change direction as well.
Yeah, it's clear that 71 is, I call him dummy cut, but just a diversion.
Yeah.
And it turns out, because the play falls apart, even though that was her initial responsibility, she becomes the new ISO because everybody else is so well guarded.
Yeah. And you see the defenders here is doing good stuff, like committing there to stop the under. And then as soon as she realizes that's clearing out, she takes the more efficient line. Yeah, so if she's going to clear out all the way over here, then she's actually changed direction to take the more efficient line towards where she's going. So then it spends less energy, and then when she plants, then she's close and is able to cover it as well. So really great defense from everybody. You know, we could look at another player here. This player starts shuffling in. She puts her arm out to guard. Goes deep, and she's like a fraction of a step behind. Stops and comes under. Marks her out again. Matches her all the way. So yeah, everyone on the team doing great defense for 10 seconds. And then the right decision by the thrower. Let's see, what would you see as a thrower in this situation? Yeah, you don't see anything. Yeah, so that's probably the right decision by the thrower. Potentially you could lead this player out to catch it, and there's maybe a little bit of separation over here as well. So maybe if it was not quite so,
Like 71's the most free, but getting the disc there is just outrageous.
yeah. But yeah, if in doubt, I want to say something that rhymes with that. But you know, if in doubt, huck it the length of the field. If in doubt, just not even throw it out. No.
to a point where it's surprising that they
anyone in chat think of a good rhyme
Yeah, they certainly
for
stepped
that?
it up in the last few
Like when
points.
you got
They've
no
stepped
options,
up
just
since
throwing
last
it as far as you can.
Absolute perfection. And just being able to completely close off.
Ustavaya marked by Megan Liu.
So USA are 2 points up in the moment. Oh, that was on, wasn't it? Why did she fake that? That's surprising. You know, I guess the angle of the cut here, like she's kind of bending towards the sideline almost. Not really there. Nice throw.
Coaching
Across the whole field. Straight to the receiver.
Coach the women's U23 teams
Really nice.
in Toronto and London. Lefty backhand into the end zone. A
Nice
tremendous
catch.
grab.
Is she left-handed, do you think? No, she's not left-handed. So that is a nice throw to get past the mark. He's probably expecting the sidearm. But the mark still gets close to it. Quite good defense in the end zone to stop the initial look. I don't know about the eagle defense here. But then stops that open side. It's a break. It's a nice catch.
The thrower, so the most threatening throw was high release at that point over the top of her. So, putting the arms up makes sense, I think.
Yeah, we have all seen Ds happen actually because of that as well. Coin it as the eagle defense. That's such a nice throw.
Toss into the end zone wasn't just simple. When you've only got one person that you look
If in doubt, huck it out. Yeah, that's the thing though. That was the first thing that came to mind. But it's not really out there, is it? Maybe we need to change the word doubt if you want to have a good rhyme for it. Oh, sister to sister. That was sister to sister throw. Got that connection going on. Yeah, left it back and so useful. Okay, next point. The bald eagle. Since it's the national bird of the US. Yeah, but it's not like a US specific defense though.
We need another handler out there along with Soper.
Huge number of yards on the under there. Oh, wow, what a catch. So I don't think we're going to be able to see how they get so many yards under. There's a poach stopping that first look.
Yeah, the cut was out of frame.
Yeah. And then the deep cut, I think, comes from here. That's an insane catch. How does she even catch that? Okay, we'll see it on replay.
Lead pass IO backhands. Really difficult.
Ah, sick. Right, so her hand kind of always gets around the left-hand side of the rim. Wait, is this no, it's a slightly different angle? Oh no, it's exactly the same angle. My bad. It's a hoe stack diamond clearance kind of play, says Joe.
The Russians need 2 breaks to win. There have only been 3 breaks total in the game. Podolskaya, hassled by Maddox. Pustovaya with Rudin out there on defense.
Good end zone defense.
USA continuing.
Pick, let's have a look. So yeah, the pick happens here. Yeah, it's just a pick. I'm hungry. Is that Iran? What's that? And then Ireland. What's this one?
Some of the bigger handlers like Demonskaya and
If you face resistance, huck it to a distance.
flat mark. Any of the bigger shots.
That's brilliant. I don't know if it's quite snappy enough to catch on, but I love it. India, of course. It's not Iraq. Iraq's red, white, and black. if you face resistance, huck it to a distance.
The stands have filled up very nicely. Championship Saturday and
Oh no.
unfortunate drop from Dumanskaya. Slipping just through
During
the
these
grass.
stoppages, you can see how hard players are breathing. So Beach is working them, you know.
To Ancio.
Yeah.
And Ancio
Is this Dumanskaya's second foot block? Is it a foot block? Yeah. Wow. Using those long limbs.
Such length.
Exactly, yeah.
Good length.
The throw is actually aimed at this player over here. That would be really nice if it wasn't for obviously Dumanskaya getting an awesome foot block, and there's potentially it's going to squeeze through there, but then it'd sit out to the space. Nice deep.
throw.
Way to get it back.
she should wave a finger like the Kimbe Matumbo.
Yes, Kim, India, thank you.
That block.
Good identification. Oh no, another drop.
Again, the type of mistake
With
that
these
keeps giving USA
with these
goals.
games to 40 minutes or 45 minutes and then the cap goes on.
Rudin rips it.
Ooh, that was difficult to catch. Did you see how much that moved in the wind? You got that separation. Everyone's tired after a few turnovers.
Rudin rips it.
Puts it out to the space, but then
Ancio inbounds for the score.
again the reflexes to catch that. It's the same player that made that reflex catch earlier.
Russia
It's
has
just like the
had
disc is like bobbing up and down because of the
but
wind.
USA much
Something
more
that happens when you play
consistently
in an
spectacular.
arena on sand as well
And
is
a
that the
great upwind
seats
strike.
actually stop the wind, right?
Ancio
So
makes it 9-6.
you can be in the middle of the field
Closing in on the
and there's no
cap,
wind,
just
and then you
5
get to the
minutes
end
away.
zone and suddenly there's like a crosswind because the stands are no longer there. So I've seen many pools go like way out because when you're in the end zone you can feel the wind, so then you throw planning for the wind, but then in the middle of the field there's not as much wind. So the disc does not behave how you expect. Well, that's a sick pull. Look at that right to the end. Inga has to pick it up on the back of her end zone. The Russian players calling the stack to be shorter. Nice
Been
bid on
quite
the
far
D.
away the whole game, which is interesting.
Potentially a stall out. Well, that looks very animated. Let's see. So the catch happens at 34 seconds and 4 frames. Well, let's say 5 frames. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 34 seconds and 5 frames. It's 30 FPS. 34 and 5 frames. And she releases the disc on, let's say that frame there. 42 and 5 frames. Was it 34? So that's 8 seconds for a stall, which is a little on the fast side. Like I said before, 8.3 was what I found to be like an average contested stall. Just not happy about it.
Very quick stall out.
If there's no open pass, throw it downfield with class. Well, you see, contested came up in red there. It was ominous. Oh dear. That was not the intended receiver.
The tallest on the field.
Oh no.
That's easily
Guys, it's all falling apart for Russia. It's kind of like a mess downfield, but then, yeah, it's a really small window, and this cut is kind of aimed behind these players. Like, she's gonna have to like run all the way around here to get free, but then the throw kind of tries to hit that inside out channel. I think she's free, kind of just this is the open side here. It looks like Inga's cutting out of the way to get to the side, so there is a channel there. That's not where the cutter goes to, and the defender might have got it anyway. The switch here to cover the initial deep break off the turn.
That's easily picked off. Not sure what
I can see that poach though, because of where the marker stood. loads of space, and then
USA
surprise,
already up
it's
multiple
not.
breaks.
Right,
Looking to
okay.
make
Mark's
things
obscuring it.
very challenging for Team Russia with another downwind strike here.
But the cutting from Russia looked like a bit tired and a bit disorganized compared to previous points.
Yeah. It's a long point, this one. Timeout. Good call. What's this flag here? Red top with the white bottom and a crescent with a circle of stars.
Do you want to know?
No, I want the chat to guess. If anyone in chat knows. And then Luke can tell us. Noah guesses Singapore. Is he right?
Yeah, he's right.
Hey, congratulations, Noah.
Years ago, not nearly as impactful today. She's got
If you're in a pickle, throw like there's a Jimmy Mickle downfield. Or you could just throw like Mickle.
2 assists for Becky, and well,
Oh wow, okay, that was
Just sit in the end zone for.
it was efficient. What was she? She's like demonstrating that she caught it or something. Okay, so they have someone go up the line, they break around, very difficult to stop, very good pivot, and then the scoring cut comes here, so she kind of jogs towards the open side, then plants and goes across. Yeah, if you're able to get these throws accurate, then it's very hard for the defense to do anything. Goes for the Kung Fu Ninja kick block, but doesn't quite reach it. Yeah, very neat offense there. See the Kung Fu. Ooh, bit fast.
Backwards or sideways was the first throw out of a timeout.
What about
Bring a
backwards?
turnover, which seems to be most teams' plays.
Say that again.
Timeout during a point, I quite like going either backwards or sideways as the first option.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of teams do just turnover immediately after most timeouts.
Surprisingly often.
Yeah, trying to like throw forwards, which the defense is very aware of. But if you just like throw a dump as your first throw and then play normally, it's often more effective.
Right. Yeah.
11-5 over Switzerland in the semis. Shaky in the first half at times.
USA are 4 points up, and I think at this point, at this point it's a game to 11 because I think it's a 45-minute game.
This disc floating and red
Misreach from the D. So the throw is to this cut here. Let's have a look at the separation and the cut. Fakes under to the break side. Plants, goes deep. I think she's looking at the disc. Yeah, she's looking at the disc and she just gets underneath it too much. Is that Julia? Is that Julia with the catch? Julia. Yes, it is. Nice read.
On this Russian side now. They know that they very well earned that goal.
Yeah, to be fair, in fact, it's the fact that you take this line slightly towards that could actually, yeah, when she goes down and checks where you are, then you're going underneath it a bit, and so then she's forced to kind of go underneath it a bit. So it makes it look like it's really bad by her, but actually it's kind of good boxing out type movements from you.
They can use the momentum and the spirit given from their
As your cutters fall in front of you, airmail the disc to Timbuktu. With these catchy phrases are getting more and more convoluted, but I like them. So this is, at the moment, this is going to, I think it's going to 11.
It's going to 11.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
And this looks like USA just starting to try and snatch at the victory a bit. You know, it's like, right, if we just throw it in the end zone enough times, it should work out. But no, there's no separation here. It's a funny angle.
With this scoreline, it seems like a reasonable strategy for at least 1 or 2 points.
Yeah. If you have trouble finding a smart pun, throw it downfield and tell others to run. you ran the play incorrectly. Now watch this trajectory.
And it's incomplete. Cardenas is well on the field.
Thanks, Russ.
By Parshakova.
You ran the play incorrectly. Now watch this trajectory.
It's that same matchup of Parshakova and Malinowski.
One upwind goal here.
Oh, ouch. It's like
interesting.
maybe some kind of foot collision or something.
Coaching over her maiden name.
Trodden on a beach wouldn't really hurt very much, but
It depends.
I'm sure it can.
Inga's going deep. Try's not coming. Oh, there it goes. Oh my god. Wow, someone laid out through her back. So she's actually coming under when this is released. And is this just a huck it and hope? I could use one of the phrases. Have these players run the play incorrectly? And she says, watch this trajectory. So I think the Inga's coming under. I think it's Inga. And then sees it go up, plants, makes the catch, and then the player's just laying out in front and then through and over.
For anyone else's personal space.
Howard did, but kept alive. And
Nice.
Sulamova.
Nice. I think she fakes this flick. Yeah, the flick fake just puts the mark on the floor, basically. Yeah, nice. Then perfectly weighted out there.
Dishes
Lovely.
the break for Podolskaya. The Russians aren't done yet.
Yes, it was a great read.
Not done.
Julia.
The fans are going crazy in the stands, those feet stamping, those cheers, those Russian flags.
And
flying.
composure to catch it, knowing that there's like two players running towards it, about to lay out as well.
We got that incredible
On top of you already.
that we've seen
Yeah.
again
If no one's open for a while,
against Malinowski.
make them run a mile.
The height difference
That's
you
pretty good.
cannot-
No one's open for a while.
Parshakova is incredible on defense here.
Howard forcing that one long, didn't throw it exactly how she wanted. She nearly got the D there, but as multiple bodies tumbled, it was Sulamova that emerged. And then Podolskaya. Now Russia. They're on defense, but they're pulling downwind. We've seen the U.S.
Teach people to fake, Felix. Do you teach them to deliberately like move the disc through their hand as they're doing it?
What do you mean, move the disc through the hand?
Forehand fake for the score. It was a forehand. It was a literal throw up until the moment that it wasn't released, and it was switched to a backhand. The disc on the forehand side, like it's a throwing motion all the way.
Yeah, I mean, the fake should be as believable as possible, which means it's got to look exactly like a throw, right? So you got to have the grip and everything like that, and then change your grip as you pivot across.
But it is a learned skill. You have to sort of practice.
Yeah.
And tell players to practice that, that's what it should do.
Yeah, I try and get players just to like move the disc up and down in their hands, like again and again and again. Let me just go grab a disc so I can demonstrate this quickly. So to get good at like faking and then throwing, like I teach players to have to like first have this grip and then to like practice this like fake and then into the backhand kind of thing, and then that kind of gets you like able to like flick more powerfully as well. And I kind of teach this grip so that then when actually you fake and you move it into backhand, the tips of your index and middle finger don't actually move. They kind of stay in that groove there, and then you fake and it comes into this. Yeah, so like some people have a technique where, you know, they'll have their fingers like this or something, and then when they fake to backhand, they have to like readjust those fingers. But I'm always aiming for like more efficiency, so kind of have it like that.
Mm.
Florian says hello. Welcome, Florian. Congratulations on the newborn.
I think this is exactly how the middle finger crept into some of my backhands. So sometimes I throw backhands with the middle, like a power grip with the middle finger sticking out. And I think that's because I'll switch from that forehand real fast. And because the middle finger is extended to make my flick, keep my flick in line, that fake resulted in me starting to poke that out.
Okay.
And I've seen that Jimmy Mickle actually prefers to throw that way, which is very interesting.
What, with the backhand power grip, but with the middle finger kind of extended like this?
Yeah, I think Joe Marmerstein might be responsible for getting a lot of photos of people's grips. Oh
yeah, I used that. Oh, was that wasn't the slow motion throwing footage, was it?
It's something similar.
Okay, this is another amazing pull, by the way, coming down just inside the back of the end zone. Also, a little quiz: which flag is this? I know this one, but in the chat, which flag is this with the red and blue corners and the white cross in the middle? I suggest in Kim. I'm not going to read that one out. Not yet, anyway. So it was Joe Malmsteen. He also got faces of a few people when filming their throwing stuff. Yeah, I used that footage in comparing Jimmy Mickle's technique to Frank Huguenot's technique.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting that Frank's got incredibly different technique, but you can see how it could benefit certain aspects in certain situations. It's kind of, as with a lot of Frank stuff, it's all kind of tied up with his entire approach to the game. But there's logic to it.
I mean, yeah, I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't impressed by Frank's skill when I got to play with him. He really is a skilled player offensively.
When was that you got to play with him?
He was rolling through our state, purchasing stereo equipment and records and doing record trading and stereo equipment. So we met up at a coffee shop and we went to a pickup in Frankfort, Kentucky. And it was really cool to try and play his way. And luckily there were some players there who were like, let's try to play this way. Let's get it figured out. And I think there were some moments where we dribbled, but, obviously he wasn't satisfied. But he was great. He was great at offense. He really is a talented offensive player. Absolutely.
That must have been quite recently then.
I think it was within the last year, maybe year and a half.
Pustovaya wants it all. The backhand to the end zone.
Nice catch.
Unbelievable shot for Veronkova. Maggie Rudin shaken up.
We'll see whether she's okay in a minute. We'll just have a look at this play. Pustovaya picks it up. Just a straight deep cut. Oh no, she does like a stutter step. So it's like I'm going deep, and then there's like a moment where she's like, I'm going to come under, and that gets a few steps separation. Turns over the open side shoulder. It has to be a very accurate throw. Receiver does well to get up. Defender almost gets it. Defender actually hits it, I think, and it just sticks in the right hand, potentially. Does she land awkwardly? Yeah, maybe it hurts the shoulder. Good catch though. Let's have a look at this throw.
Proud.
See what happened here. Voronkova. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, nice catch.
Rudin with a bit of whiplash on the landing.
During this play, coach screamed to the receiver to run end zone.
But Veronica,
Oh, you mean the Russian coach when you're all setting up here? He was just shouting, "Go deep, go deep, go deep." Is that what you mean? Oh, that's why the stutter step, right? Okay.
The backhand to the end.
Okay, right, she's okay. She wasn't injured. No one's guessed that flag.
End to the summit.
I think. I didn't see it anyway. All right, 10-9 now. I think that's 3 in a row for Russia. We've got like 5 minutes left of the stream. Maybe 10.
So I have a question for the Russian players on the stream. I'm curious if anybody went to the Sockeye Camp 2012. I found a series of videos online from the Russian women's team where they had like a boot camp with a bunch of Sockeye players in 2012.
I think there's been at least a couple of USA camps run in Russia. I think there was one in 2016 or 17 when I went over there as well. Don't know if this would have been caught, this throw. It's an around break right down the line. The defender's pretty close to it, but ultimately that's an execution error.
There's not much space to throw to though.
Yulia says Sockeye camp was amazing, and they had different camps over the years. And Rue's making an appearance. Sorry, Rue, I'm going to grab you because I have had requests to see more of you. I don't want to annoy you too much.
Felix,
What's that?
give the people what they want.
Exactly. There you go. That's your dose of Rue. Maybe I can feed her some treats. Feeding Rue treats. You get Rue.
I don't know this about Felix, but the little song that he sang then, he does that with like everything, just all the time.
This is the little Rue intermission just before the end of the game. Okay, all right, that's a good amount of Rue, I think. There you go, you can finish this off. Best stream ever. Yeah. All right, if you like seeing Rue, then drop a thumbs up. Okay, back to the frisbee.
Made sure Levin didn't have a chance to toe the line.
that would have been a very difficult grab regardless of the bid.
Beat some Rue ultimate analysis.
But you could sense how intense the
Yeah,
game is
well, I
now.
do need to
It's
actually
getting
get
closer and closer.
another
Russia is
camera
knocking
to
on the
put it on
door
Rue the whole
of a
time.
point game.
We wanted some gold medal drama. And in the women's final on the beach in Rome.
I think actually it's a wasted to not have a little bit of Rue cam going on. There we go. Perfect.
Early on, the intensity reaching its peak. Russia has scored the last 3. Closing
Wow,
in.
see that throw? Low bullet. Like a shoulder shimmy. And then pow.
Closing in.
Okay, Rue's got
on
bored.
10-all.
Nice.
That sort of drop forehand,
Yeah.
getting nice and low.
Still got you, Rue. Still tracking you. Right. Let's make sure we do actually shoot some frisbee. Yes, the drop forehand, shoulder shimmy. And then
And in
the
the
next
women's
one.
final on the beach in Royan.
That was an upwind high release backhand for the score, which is quite an impressive throw.
Reaching its peak.
Right.
I really need to work with my short players this season to learn that
Closing in.
little shoulder
on
shimmy, and
10-all.
you all are calling it drop forehand, but we have some shorter players who haven't like graduated to these kinds of throws yet. I need to figure out how to teach them better.
What, this forehand in particular?
Yeah, they're having trouble. So I'm 6'1". I have no idea what that is. The real way you should measure things, but it's not difficult for me to
Is-ish.
get away from my mark, right? And so I don't often know how to teach shorter players. Like, this is how you hold your arm out and get away from your mark.
Oh, maybe you can. Maybe Inga's got some tips
Going crazy.
for how to teach that.
I said,
Yeah, chat.
going
How do you
crazy.
teach shorter players the shimmy? And that's beautiful, you know?
Yeah. Inga suggests to put Rue on a big screen, and the game can be screened in a little window in the corner.
The U.S. faces
You're the star of the show, Rue. Move this water so you can have the appropriate amount of screen. You appreciating the drawing I've got on the wall, the poster?
On the defensive point for the Russians with the gold on the line.
I remember watching a Dota stream once where they had like a cage full of puppies and a camera on them constantly.
It's just a hit generator, isn't it? So the likes generator.
It was like a international, like, you know, very best players in the world sort of tournament. And there's just like puppies.
Joe Marmstein says, take a look at the old Mario O'Brien breaking a defensive heart video, which I know that you know well because we were chatting about that before we went live.
That is one of my favorite videos, Joe. I love that video.
Here we go, we're sudden death in the game.
And the Americans have turned it.
Wow, how did that turnover happen? So I mean, it's good shut down D because they have the disc in their hands for a long time here. Tightly marked, taking a while to kind of get up into position, and then just a bit too predictable. I suppose she's not going through the whole way of that cut. Goes quite far and then comes back. And this, I mean, that should be complete. It's a bit short for a sidearm. It's okay, but the throw's wobbly. The problem with wobbly throws is they're much harder to catch, right? I mean, and the trajectory changes because it's wobbling. So it's wobbly and it's fast and it's slightly above her. So it's slightly hard to catch, but then it does bounce out the hands as well. Sudden death.
Completable throw though. Yeah.
Yeah, and a viable option. What are you doing there, Rue? Why'd you lift your paw up?
They were down 10-6.
It's just an execution.
They have never led. Howard, and it's caught! Unbelievable.
I remember this.
They have never
But this throw.
led.
Yeah.
Howard,
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You're a few seconds behind, remember. It's a poach. So this player goes deep right from over here, and I think she just is decided she's going to throw it to the end zone already. So, and you see the poach here completely predicting the play. She's already starting to go. This goes up and she's got it. She's got position and everything. Sudden death in the final of the World Championships. Unbelievable.
Forward, and it's caught.
And
Unbelievable.
like,
I don't even know if the Russian player... It would have been a hard catch. Oh no, it was gettable.
Howard, and it's caught.
If there was no, if it wasn't touched by the defender.
Gold
But
medal for Russia.
wow, 5 points in a row. 5 points in a row for Russia to win the World Championship. What do you think about that, Rue? Think about Russia getting 5 points in a row.
There was a similar deflection on the very first point of the game,
Composed as always.
where the USA got the disc after the Russians deflected it. And
It's not just that was much louder than it should have been. It's not just catch your D's. It's go with two hands as well.
go with two hands, but then neither hand connects with the disc.
After the Russians deflected
Yeah, and she goes with that one.
Yeah.
Off the deflection from Howard.
Yulia says they went completely crazy after this. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's a really good catch as well, right? That's not like a guaranteed goal. It's bounced off her head, but it's the front edge is pointed down to the ground, and it's like immediate reaction. Like not giving up and like kept her eyes the whole way, and then clap catch as it goes down to the ground. It's insane. Watch the whole crowd go mad there. I think I'm sat like around here somewhere.
Sweep. Team Russia takes gold in the women's division.
What a game.
With a 5-0 run to close out.
This would be like a GIF if someone said you need to share a GIF that summarizes your ultimate career. I think I would share this. Doing everything right and then just failing spectacularly.
Yeah, and getting dunked on the head as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Reading the play perfectly, getting under the disc at the right time, and then it just...
Yeah, I think it says the wind was changing in the end zone. So that could have been the thing that I said earlier about the stands in the arena, because the stand stops here, then like some wind can come in around the edge of it, and that could have been then what just affected the disc at the very end. But like, I suppose you could have got up with two hands, gone for the crap catch type thing, but you shouldn't need to in that situation.
Won the game like multiple points before that. They had a huge lead.
They did, yeah. 4 points up.
So catch is ridiculous, but Russia absolutely crushed it those last sort of 5-6 points to come back and win it.
Cool. Summarizing thoughts?
Game. Probably one of the greatest games that has been played on beach, in my opinion. That's why I suggested it. Just the absolute heart and grit from Russia to bring this game back and win it is just phenomenal to watch. I actually thought Russia's disc skills were better than the USA's this game. They seem to be better at putting touch on those downwind lead passes. Game of Frisbee.
Game of Frisbee. Russ, closing thoughts?
I think all I really have to say is there were a handful of really nice deep shots in this game that they threw to space instead of throwing for distance. And that's something I'm going to try to work with my team on this year, is just completing the deep shot. Go ahead and throw it out to space, make sure we complete it, and then let that person the assist. So I really like watching these elite teams shave like 10 to 20 yards off the throw just to make sure they complete it.
Championship match that will live forever for so many different reasons.
Oh, yeah, nice. Kim says put a vote up for best when in doubt huck it phrase. So feel free to say in the chat what your favorite one of those phrases was. Julia says Olia is known to have very quick reaction time. She once played in an open tournament indoors, men's teams only, and her team won, and she got MVP. Yeah, I was impressed by the reaction time by a lot of players in that game. I think America are really good at kind of taking what they were given, but the Russian defense stepped up to be like super tight, and there was just numerous times where they shut out every cut by the USA, and USA is so not used to that happening. So yeah, incredible defense from Russia, and then you know, putting it deep, as you say, Luke, with the touch to be able to bring it down, and lots of fantastic catches when they were under extreme pressure from the USA defenders, and keeping their composure. Right, I have to go. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's been a great stream. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Russ, for joining.
Cheers.
Thanks for having us.
If you face resistance, huck it to a distance. That's the motivated one by Julia. So, all right, enjoy, everybody. I will see you again another time.
Oh yeah. Yes, you're good. Oh yeah.